So my first video didn't get a lot of views, just yet. I'm not so worried. But Lance Galbraith's back with you to talk to you guys all about something. We're facing difficult times, difficult eras, difficult crises. Remember, you're not alone. You might feel alone. You might feel like there's nobody out there for you. You might feel like nobody cares about you. But sure enough, somebody always does, whether you see it or not. Life is about what you give into it, what you put in, not what you get out of it. That's the return for doing the favor onto something else. By destroying something else, you're actually destroying yourself while destroying something else. When we hunt, fish, and stuff like that, that's all natural. But when you literally go up, like, let's say, pop a gun back, put it up to somebody's head and pull the trigger, you're making the absolute wrong decision, the wrongful choice to do that. To put any gun towards somebody else, doesn't matter what they do to you, or any type of weapon at all, putting a knife up to somebody's throat, something like that, it's not a good thing. So I tell a lot of kids, you got to be careful when you're playing these video games. They might be fun, but in reality, they're not good for you or your health. They get your mind trapped in something so difficult, so hard, that you don't know where to start and where to get out of. I've seen some pretty good things in my life that are pretty difficult. Some things that are really, really difficult to handle. Some days I wonder where my life is going. Some days I wonder where my mind is going. But the thing is, if you feel like you want to hurt somebody, counteract it. Think to yourself, where would you be if you put yourself in a better predicament? There's a lot of things out there that we go wrong on. There's a lot of things that we don't do as correctly as we'd like to. We make choices, we make decisions. For every good, there's a bad. As we fight for what we truly care about, and to me that's love. I don't care how badly somebody does something to me. Mess me up, whatever. Try burning out my eyes with bear mace, whatever. We learn from our biggest mistakes. We learn from the hardest things in life. And when we go through with these things, learning is a process that we all have to take into our own concept, and that we might not always agree on everything. We might not always do that. But with the society where it's going today, we got to realize that in the end, all we have is each other. Doesn't matter what religion you are, doesn't matter what culture you're from. We might speak different languages or prosper from different things. Sometimes, you don't always see everything eye to eye. And it's sad when, like, I think it was like last year, 2 guys were hung for being married to each other. Some people are afraid of gays, some people are afraid of other things. But when somebody else puts them up, either hangs them, puts them on a cross, does something like that, they're putting matters into their own hands. That person who did that concept has more blood on their hands than anything. That person is corrupt. And the best point of view I can give you is, for anybody that needs this help, this concept, is to love each other as hard as you can, and never give up. Whatever your dream may be, don't ever give up. Doesn't matter what lengths, what depths, what you have to do it. Go for it. Go through the strongest point forward. Do what you can to think that, hey, look, you know what? I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best perceptive I can do. If you're saying, hey, look, I'm giving up, don't. If you're going to hurt somebody, though, think to yourself, if I do this onto that person, what's going to happen onto me? Because I did that to that person. If somebody really wanted that to happen, they wouldn't send us out as their minions to go and do their dirty work for them. Because you know what? Even with this, all those people making this whole coronavirus, saying it's spreading like that. Okay, one person gets it, then another person, then another person. It doesn't just spread like that. You got to realize there's a concept to everything. And when you start out with one thing, that one thing has to live with that the rest of its life. And what I have to say is, anybody that's judgmental to anybody else, stop. Whether you suffer from addiction, whether you suffer from mental health, whatever. The thing is that, we all make our mistakes. We all do our wrongs, and sometimes we just need a good life lesson to do. And my best piece of advice to you is, before you throw that fireball at somebody else, just because it's burning up your hand, don't let it burn up somebody else for your doing. You might feel it's right. You might feel good while doing it. But in the end, think to yourself, what did you just do to that person? Even if you're not in the wrong and something happens, excuse me, realize that there's always a concept. There's always an outcome. We might not be the best to somebody else's ability, but we're not here to please everybody else. We're here just to try and go along, to get along. It's not always the easiest thing, and it's not always going to lead you to the direction you want. But think about what you have to go through. Overcome whatever you have. Life isn't easy. Life never was. But we go, like I've said before, we go through the worst to handle the best. We have to go through that to meet another level. Sometimes we don't always meet that level that we're looking for. But why let somebody else destroy you? Why let somebody else take you down? Be proud of who you are. Because these concepts are the hardest things in known history ever at all. Doesn't matter where you stand or who you are. These concepts are never easy. Never will be. Remember, somebody out there always loves you. It doesn't matter who it is. Always remember, you'll always find the happiness when you search for it. Even if you feel like you're going to give up and you want to break down. Sometimes take that moment to yourself. Take a deep breath. Count to 10. And just relax. If you need a water fountain or something like that to relax, to meditate, do so. It helps out once in a while. Sometimes, just listening to somebody else. Whatever your view is, follow it. Unless otherwise it's about hurting somebody else. I advise you don't do that. That's going to end you up in a place where you don't want to be. You know, learning new things is about following your dreams and following who you actually want to be. If you want to be in a cell locked up next to somebody else, make stupid choices. To you, they might not feel so stupid, but if you're locked up in a cage, like an animal, obviously you did something wrong. You know, not always do we do that, though, to get locked up in a cage. Sometimes somebody else feels like we did it wrong and we're the ones that did it and we didn't have quite the story to tell to get out of it. When you I'm going to get into like citizenship for any country and anybody's aspect. If they say that you're being deported because your certain thing came up, say the truth, you know? Try and figure out where you went wrong. And then you tell them, look, I messed up here. Give me a chance to show you I can make it right by not screwing up. You know, I might make a few mistakes along the way, but I am not going to screw up because I am not going to give up. The moment you give up, the moment you let everything else just go. To where we hurt others to make ourselves prosper at times. That's not good. And that's with lack of training. And my view to that is saying, do the best to your ability, no matter where and what you have to do. Be the best at just being yourself. You know? When you go out there and you show your love for others, you know, you're showing that you're truly in depth to something. And that means that you're potent on that thing. You know, when we want new knowledge, we go and we read about it. You know? And believe it or not, like one time I was reading a book called Woman's Bodies and Woman's Wisdom. It's a very good book. At the beginning, I felt like the woman was kind of against man and that. And you can see where a lot of people come with that aspect. Where man is against woman, woman is against man. In reality, we're all together. But she wrote in that book that the more that we focus on that illness, the more we do get sick. Because the more we're focused on it. The less we focus on it, the healthier we will get. The more that we focus on our everyday journey, we go further. We've got to go further in depth to anything. If somebody's out there trying to hurt you, trying to destroy you, it happens. Do what you can to enjoy what you can, and if you fail to succeed at it, there's always another shot. You might not see it in this time, and you might not ever realize it in another time. But there's a reason why we are what we are. And I want everybody to know that do the best of your ability to be as strong as you can. Like, my technique is word of mouth. My word is my strongest point. I tell everybody, you know what, a man is only as good as his word. If he can't stick to his guns, then he can't stick to his word, and therefore he is nothing. But the thing is that if a man can't stick to his word, it's just like if a woman can't stick to her word. That means that there's an incomplete setup there. To where you need to make sure that, you know, if you can't make it to something, say, look, I screwed up. You know, I messed up. The hardest thing to say to somebody is, I screwed up. because you're making yourself feel down because of that. But actually, you're making yourself prosper by saying, I screwed up. I made that mistake. I went wrong. I screwed up. Now I need to grow, and I need to grow stronger. I need to become more in line. It's not easy, and it's not fun. It's not always the best thing. But the thing is that your best thing is to admit when you're wrong and try and fix it. If you do something wrong unto somebody else, say, hey, look, I'm so sorry. I messed up. I made the biggest mistake. It happens. We all make mistakes. But we grow from them. Mentally, physically, emotionally, and as well sophistically. We all are within our genetics, you know. We make dumb comments, we make dumb choices, we do dumb things. It's within our genetics. But my word of advice to everybody is to try and stay strong and unite together. Remember, we're stronger together than we are just as one. If we fail one another, you know, you can always say, hey, look, give me another shot, as many as I can. I screwed up a lot of times, I know that, but I'm not a failure. I'm not admitting to defeat because I'm not going down there and throwing a temper tantrum. I'm actually showing you that I can be somebody. When somebody of our system screws up, you have to remember that we're the ones to blame. It doesn't matter if we vote or we didn't vote. It doesn't matter if whatever. The factor is that for those who didn't vote, didn't put that effort in to put a wall against that. And for those who did put that wall up, did something to just, to try and block something else out. So whether it's building something up or destroying it, focus on your main aspect, yourself. Because we go through a lot of the worst things, a lot of the hard things, things that are unimaginable. And that's what actually makes us grow. When we have things that are being thrown out there, we need to realize that, this isn't always the easiest view of everyone and everything. But we're here together, always and forever. We all come from different sections and different things. Not all of us are made the way that we want to be made. But to prosper is to give all your energy into it. To be as strong as you can. And never to give up. Speaking of which, when I was a child, I wanted to make a brand called No Fear. Reason being is fear puts a block on you doing your biggest goals, your biggest accomplishments. And you're going to want to go further than that. You're going to want to overcome that fear. You find what's blocking you. And you go above that. You say, I can do that. I can do anything I want by going deeper into depth. I can go stronger. I can have a bigger force with this because I'm stronger within myself today than I was yesterday. But remember, yesterday we had to put a foot behind us to make another step forward today. And when I say we're putting a foot behind us, is meaning that we put what was yesterday behind us to make today go forward. the more that we look towards a forward, the bigger the step we're doing for a brighter future, more passionate life, and more passionate era. Things that any one of us can do. Give it your all. Put your full fulfillment into it. And do whatever you can. Because we're all strong within ourselves. We're all the cool kids. We're all of everything. Don't give up because somebody tells you, oh look, you're nothing. No. Turn around and say, I got this. I'm not giving up because you say, oh, I'm not any good at it. Because the moment you do that, you just did a self-sacrifice. You just sacrificed everything you ever built up to become something, like to put all your dreams behind you. The thing is, always look for a brighter future. Always look for that bigger hope. Even if you can't find it, it'll come. Because we can all be strong. We can all do whatever we can. Like, things that are imaginable, we can do. But you have to put that force into it. And you have to make sure that, you're ready. Not when somebody else is ready, but when you're ready. Sometimes it can get pretty scary. It can get pretty hectic. But the thing is, if you give up on yourself, other people give up on you too. You stay strong, other people are going to be strong there with you. Because we're always looking for a leader to lead us the right ways. But we can't always be that leader. We're always following something. And to be that leader is to be strong within yourself. To know where you stand within yourself. Where you'll prosper from within yourself, not somebody else. Remember, go ahead with the hardest things possible. Things that you never thought could happen will happen if you put that chance and that choice into it. Remember, we all do go through the very most difficult things. And if you suffer from anxiety, depression, anything like that, and you can't find what to make you happy, maybe put on some music, something you enjoy. Think to yourself, do the 10-second thought, and realize that you can do anything. Just put your mind to it. You'll eventually prosper from it. Every day, remember that you're a great person and that beauty comes from within your heart. And our hearts are filled with love. Seek to your heart and let it explode. Let that love shine. As for Jesus, a lot of people don't believe in him. I believe in Jesus highly. I believe in God. Everybody has their own ways, their own religions, and own choices. And I don't say anything about them being wrong. I believe that, God has already sent us out a signal saying that we need to wake up. We need to go further onto our future to make it brighter. But we need to seek it within ourselves first. Okay. But yeah, as far as this goes, I'm going to stop this for now.